Before starting to set up your annex, make sure your handbrake is on, stabilizer legs are down, and your camper is open with the cabin tent fully set up. The tools you will need for setup are a step ladder, your guide ropes and pegs, and a friend to help make setup easier. Make sure you have a hammer as well as your ropes and peg bag at the ready to secure the annex once set up. The annex for our Buckley and Joanna models are the same, so while we have filmed the tutorial using the Joanna, the setup is exactly the same for the Buckley. This annex is called a 3-pole annex because there are 3 main upright poles across the front. The first few times you set up your annex, your pole plan will be your best friend. Take out all your annex poles and lay them out on the ground, matching your pole plan like we have done here. The first step is to attach the 3 poles which come out of the camper. These poles have a hook on one end and connect to a loop on the main U-pole. This is where having a step ladder can be handy, as these are at the top of the U-poles and can be hard to reach. To attach this pole to the camper, push back the fabric sock and locate the loop on the U-pole. Then connect the hook to this loop. Continue to the next loop point and attach the next pole the same as before. Once these are connected, you can let the pole hang down as you move to the next pole and connect each one. With each pole connected, at this point your camper will look like this. From this point on, it is really helpful to have a friend with you. We are going to attach the annex roof to the camper now, and having someone to help support the canvas while we do this is extremely helpful. Here we quickly remove the poles from the side window here so it is easier to attach the canvas. Then we locate the annex roof piece and lay it out in front of the camper. Grab your step ladder to help you reach the main zip connection. This begins at the rear. Have your friends support the canvas while you zip on the roof piece. Once you have the first part connected, you can use the long orange pull string on the zipper to pull it along and join the roof to the camper. Continue to zip on the roof piece, supporting the canvas as you go. Once you have the roof attached, we start connecting the other poles. Start at one corner and work your way across the camper to put all the poles in place. First, extend the pole coming away from the camper. Have a friend hold the upright and front spreader pole ready. Align the spike of the upright pole to go through the pole on both of the other poles. Then extend the pole and use the cam lock to lock it in place. On the corner of the annex canvas is a metal hoop. This is where the spike on the upright pole will go through. This is a close-up of how the poles are sitting in the corner. You can see the spike is going through the flat end of the other poles to hold them. Next, we extend the upright pole and attach the securing hook. For each upright pole, there is a securing hook. These help to keep the annex connected to the poles. Then move to the next pole and repeat what we have done. You may need to extend the front spreader pole so it can reach the next join point. Extend the pole coming out of the camper, find your next front spreader pole and align poles. Again, make sure the upright pole spike is going through the metal loop on the canvas. Then we extend the upright pole and attach the securing hook. With the last pole, it's the same again. Extend, align, and put the upright in place. We do a little bit of adjusting here, raising the upright poles to lift up the annex roof. On the side of the annex roof, we attach the upright support poles. These have a C-clamp and clip onto the poles coming out of the camper. Once these are connected, extend them down. Repeat this on the opposite side of the annex too. Next, we put our spreader poles in place. Connect the C-clamps to the poles coming out of the camper. When placing these poles, make sure you have the cam locks facing down so you can easily adjust them and lock them into place. Extend the pole and clamp the cam lock closed. Put the second spreader pole in place on the other side of the annex, the same as the previous one. Now all the poles are in place. The annex can look a little funky, but it just needs a bit of adjusting. Check to make sure the peak on your roofline matches the shape of the annex. You want a nice peak in the middle like we have here. Tension the poles so the canvas is tight, but not so much that you are putting unnecessary strain on the seams. Next, we will secure the poles individually to the awning roof using the velcro tabs underneath. You might need your stepladder here to reach them. Go around the awning roof line and connect all the velcro tabs to the poles. Each outside pole has 2 tabs to hold the awning roof to them. Here we have attached all the velcro tabs to the outside poles. The inner spreader poles do not have these tabs, as you may need to move them, depending on where more tension is required. With the awning fully attached, you may want to do some final adjustments to tension everything. Now you have finished putting the annex roof up. You may have the option to add on walls, the skirt, floor, or all of them to really customize your setup how you want it. If you are stopping your setup at this point, use your rope and pegs to secure the upright poles. We will proceed with showing you how to attach the annex skirt next. Locate the skirt piece and look for the clear light panel that fits over the kitchen light. Connect the skirt to the alfresco panel via the thick strip of velcro. Here we close up the entry for better access to the surrounding canvas. Make sure the thin strip from the entry door canvas is fastened to the camper body using the press studs. Then attach the skirt piece to the velcro. Place the skirt velcro around the main gas strut, following the shape of the camper. Keep going all the way to the front of the camper. Once fully attached, it will look like this. If anything does not look quite right, you might need to adjust it to realign the skirt. Use the entry door and kitchen light panel as guide points for this. To access your front toolbox and fridge slide, simply unzip and roll down the front panel of the skirt. The skirt has been fitted with toggles and loops, so you can neatly roll the panel down when required. The same applies for the kitchen slide as well. If you want to access this, unzip and roll down the panel, then secure it with the toggles and loops. Next, we will show you how to attach the annex walls. These are modular, so you have 1, 2, or all of them set up depending on what you want. We will start with the wall at the main bed end of the camper. This annex panel has a door and window. Find this panel and orient it with the window cover points facing out. Have a friend help support the canvas and start at the front corner. Zip the panel onto the annex roof. On the outside of the panel, connect the velcro strip to join the wall to the skirt. This goes all the way to the ground. Inside the panel, attach the black velcro tabs to the upright poles. Then put the foot on the pole inside the pocket at the bottom. Each Annex panel have these pockets for the upright poles to sit into. These pockets help to hold down the bottom edge of the Annex panel. Now we'll attach the panel on the opposite end of the camper at the rear. This panel has 2 windows on it. For this panel, we start at the outer corner and zip it on, the same as we did with the first. Just like before, use a velcro strip and connect the wall to the camper. Inside, attach the velcro tabs to the poles and sit the poles in the pockets. As mentioned before, you can stop the setup at this point if you only want these walls on. If you have finished your setup here, use your ropes and pegs to secure the main upright poles. This front panel has a window and door. Next, we will show you how to attach this wall panel. The same as before, find the canvas panel and orient it to the window and door covers facing away from the camper. Have a friend support the main weight of the canvas and zip it onto the Annex roofline, starting at the front end of the camper. As you pull the zipper along, you'll need to continue to support the canvas. When you get to the rear of the trailer, you want to seal the velcro around the outside of the upright pole. Use the velcro strip to seal the front and side panels together all the way down. Again, remember to do up the velcro tabs on the inside of the wall and put the upright poles in the pockets. The windows on the Annex have 2 sections on them. The main upper part of the window is made from midge-proof mesh and the lower section is made from clear plastic vinyl. Having the windows with the 2 types of panels means you can adjust them depending on the condition. If it is colder and possibly raining, you can have the windows open to the plastic section to let the light in while keeping rain and cold air out. If it is warmer, you can open them up fully to let the breeze through while keeping the bugs out. When it comes to rolling up the window panels, you can have them at 2 levels to match the window section. Unzip the sides of the window and roll it up. Here we stop at the first set of toggles and loops. This is handy when camping in colder conditions as no wind can come through the plastic, but you can still let some light in. If you want the full window open, simply keep rolling the panel up and use the toggles and loops at the top to secure the window open. To close the windows back down, undo the toggles, unroll the canvas and zip it shut again. The doors on the Annex have 2 panels to them, an outer canvas one and an inner mesh one. Each panel has its own zip, so you can have either one open or closed at a time. Simply roll the panel you want open and use the toggles and loops to secure it. Both doors on the Annex are the same and operate in the same way. Next, let us talk about how you can attach the Annex floor. Inside the Annex, running around the bottom of every wall panel and the skirt is a strip of Velcro. This is where we attach the flooring to, but first we recommend securing the skirt and walls down. Use the pegs from your rope and pegs bag to secure the skirt and walls down using these metal loops. Once the walls and skirts are secured, go ahead and attach the flooring by connecting the Velcro all the way around. Now you have finished fully setting up the 3-pole annex for your camper trailer. Having the annex set up gives you a great outdoor space, whether you want to sit in the shade or have the space to put down a bed for an extra person. As mentioned before, all the walls on our annexes are modular, so you can easily change your setup to only have 1 or 2 walls if you like. If you have your annex set up and you start to experience windy conditions, make sure you tighten your guide ropes. If you have your annex set up and storms are forecast, you need to pack the annex away. These annexes are not designed to withstand extreme conditions and can be damaged if left set up.